hitters. And I don't know. I just hope that Justin Verlander can kind of, motivate the guys that we have right now to, start hitting better. That's what I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say.
I don't know that JV helps them hit better. Is that what you said?
No, just motivate the team to want them, the guys that we have, instead of going out to go get some big name hitter who might not even be. I just always a firm believer of developing the guys that we have now to make them hit somehow. And I don't know if that's possible, but maybe somehow.
Well, what it does, Joe, I think you might be onto something. What it can do is it shows that the Tigers, at least from the front office, that they have belief in the roster that they have right now to get the job done. That they thought the need was more on the pitching side than the hitting side. But it tells them, we believe in you, but you got to do it. And we're bringing in a guy who's a future Hall of Famer. He's absolutely a Tigers Hall of Famer, and he comes back to this team, to this fold, and he finished the season real strong, and we're going for it. And he says he's got unfinished business, and that's to get this team back to the World Series and win a World Series. Everybody, rowing the boat in the same direction, Doug. Let's go all PJ Fleck.
So, look, this is their calculated risk. If you have endless funds and you have no budget, if you're the Dodgers, you have the Sweetheart TV deal with the league.
You're able to find a comp for that.
Yeah, it was. Let me think. You have the Sweetheart TV deal with the league, and you're able to bank all this money, and that you don't have to share, and you can basically buy yourself out of any issue. That's one way to do it. The Tigers have spent a ton of money, and their calculated risk where they haven't spent the money is on the everyday lineup. And so the question becomes, are they going to rue that? They're going to rue the day gator? Is there going to be ruing, or is this the risk worth taking? I mean, you go back a week ago with what we didn't know, there wasn't going to be Reese Olson. So a week ago, the rotation was shaping up to be Skubal, Flaherty, Mize. We didn't know Reese Olson was out, so it would have been Montero, Melton.
Mm-hmm.
A week later, there is no Reese Olson, but it's Skubal, Framber Valdez, Flaherty, Mize, and JV. That sounds like a far more ready, when JV's your fifth starter, okay? And he might need to be sat a couple times this year. And give Montero a start here and there, or Melton a start here and there. Where does Sawyer Gibson Long fit in the mix?
Anderson,
yes. There are guys that we got to figure out this role here a little bit for some players, and JV might be sitting out a little bit here and there, and that's okay. But Scott, they're going to roll with this lineup, and it's going to get a lot of attention. Whether or not it's going to be enough to get it done.
Well, it's a roll of the dice for Scott Harris, but it's also one that I wouldn't say everything's done yet. Moves can happen in spring training. You might find yourself with a logjam of younger players that you feel like, okay, now's the time to make a move. I'll trade these guys for your veteran, and let's move in that direction. A lot can happen. A lot can happen. And a lot can happen to change our minds too. Like even though we'll say probably a handful of times at least each over the course of March, it's just spring training. But we'll say that.
Well, when there's not real games to talk about, we talk about the fake games, and we can't draw real conclusions. We draw fake conclusions, but
exactly.
We do try.
Yeah. So if we see that Kevin McGonigal is just raking it and hits like 450 in the spring with some power, Max Clark is doing the same. Then you'll get excited about the possibility of these guys being added to the roster.
Do I expect JV to have any impact on the hitters? Not really. I think that might be a bit of a stretch. And I don't think they were unmotivated before. So
no, I think the hitters have their own motivation because they know now. Look, if they didn't know before, they know now that Scott Harris will make moves to improve the roster, and it could be you. So you have to perform.
Feedback coming in. What's best about this Piston team is that they have a brand. They play hard. They share the ball. They play dogged defense. That's a reflection of great coaching. That's from an unnamed texter. Next text, the Pistons are well built. Not only do all their pieces fit, but they complement each other. They love to defend. They're unselfish. They have great chemistry. They remind me a lot of the going to work Pistons. What do you like most about this Piston team? We'll talk some college basketball coming up at 11:30, and I got a little project for Gator, and I think I'll let the listeners do it as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Help me with something, okay?
All right.
Help me.
Is this workshopping or is this an actual...
Yeah. I mean, I'm counting on your expertise. I might have Kang participate, but all the listeners can play along at home. We'll get to that at 11:35. Andrew's in Detroit and next. Hello, Andrew.
What's going on today, fellas?
What's up?
So, I remember last time when we went on our World Series run, our biggest issue was we had a problem closing games.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have a good closing pitcher. Now, how far is it of a stretch to think at this part of his career, he's still got a lot of arm left, a lot of great pitches. But how far is it a stretch to think that we can try to make JB the closer, knock out the last 2-3 innings for us to make sure the games are locked down and, closed out correctly?
I don't think it's far-fetched to think that he could have a role in a bullpen as well as perhaps a role in the rotation, depending on how things go. I think they could always pivot. But I think it looks right now that he's a rotational piece, so maybe might be more of a far-fetched than you think.
Okay, and one more question. This is college basketball. It's 25 plus years now. If Izzo don't get a ring, another championship, how long before they keep him in Lansing, letting him coach? One championship, 25 years. Yes, he got Big Ten titles and things like that, but he hasn't been able to get that championship since he first started.
Well, do you want him out at Michigan State if he can't win another championship over the next couple of years?
Me personally, I would, because I think he's a good basketball coach, very good basketball coach, but I don't think he developed the players good enough to go to the next level. I'm a person that like to see how they develop from, seeing some in high school to college to the pros. And not enough players from Michigan State become good pros.
Because I guess then you're not going to like Tom Izzo then, Andrew, because what Tom Izzo does is he develops players not for the next level. He develops players to become great college players in the end. If you stay for 4 years, you're going to be way better in that fourth year, your senior year, than you were as a freshman. I don't think Tom Izzo's in a business for developing NBA talent. He wants to win a championship at Michigan State, and he goes about it a different way than most of the other coaches. I shouldn't say most, than a lot of other coaches do.
Yeah, you kind of talked about two things there. One is winning a title, and two is developing pros. And sometimes they go hand in hand, but I think ultimately his number one duty is to win at the collegiate level.
And do it the right way.
But here's the other thing I always say, and this is true in a lot of sports. If you're consistently in the mix, you're doing the job. Eventually, you're going to break through. And, there comes a time, I guess, but there's no surprise that Michigan State is in the mix to win the Big Ten. They're one of the 6 Big Ten teams I think can make a Final Four run. If you're in the mix, you're doing a pretty good job. Now, some people have higher standards, and I get it, but that's how I judge the job that people are doing. We'll get to more college basketball next here on 97.1. Doug Carr, Scott Anderson, 97.1. College basketball, Michigan State call there right before the break. Spartans play Wisconsin on Friday. Wisconsin has, in my opinion, the two best wins of the Big Ten season. They won in Ann Arbor and they won in Champaign.
Those are pretty good wins.
Yep. So they're no joke. Michigan last night dug their biggest deficit of the season. They were down 16 points in the second half in Evanston. And I'll give credit to Eric Shapiro, who's a basketball analytics guy. After the 14:30 mark in the second half, Michigan scored on 21 straight possessions.
Wow.
21 straight possessions.
That's how you come back from down 16 in the second half.
Yep. After the game, Dusty May said, okay, here's the deal. What happened early, Morez Johnson got 2 fouls. And he has pointed out that when they have got in trouble, it's often when Morez Johnson gets in foul trouble. So that's something that teams are going to go after and something they're going to have to adjust to. But with the starters in the backcourt were struggling, specifically Ellie Cadeau, who had 5 turnovers in the first half and then had one early in the second half. He went to the bench with 15:15 to go and didn't play again. Damari Burnett went to the bench with 15:15 to go. He checked out. He didn't come in till later, till there was 30 seconds left in the game, and Trey McKinney got hurt. Now, Damari is coming off a 31-point game against Penn State. Cadeau was great in East Lansing against Michigan State. He had 17. But they weren't having a good night, and Dusty May rolled with the young guards, the freshman McKinney and the sophomore LJ, and they came through. Kaysen especially, but they both came through. And then when they play with their NBA front court, Mara, Yax, and Morez Johnson for a bulk of that group together, the 2 young guards and the NBA front court, those guys in 8 minutes, I think they were plus 18 as a collective group. So that was the comeback crew right there.
Well, that team knows that they can go on runs. I mean, you don't win games by an average of 30 points over the first 15 games of the season or whatever without having some runs. They know that it's in them. So they're not going to panic. Down by 9.5. They're not going to panic. Oh, it's down by 16, but there's 14 minutes left in the game or whatever, and here they come.
So 248-539-9797. Michigan takes on UCLA this weekend. Then they launch into their week of hell where 3 of 4 games. I mean, the end of their schedule is incredibly tough, and they're going to see if they can float, maintain, or will they start to sink? Will they excel? Games, trips to Illinois, trip to Purdue, Michigan State coming in, and a neutral site game against Duke. But that's it. Gator, here's the exercise I want you to try, and anybody can play along at home.
Need to limber up a little bit.
All right, you ready? Tell me when you're ready.
All right, just had the neck crack. Here we go.
All right. Everybody else can do this at home. I want you to help me with something.
Okay.
I want you to go to the browser in front of you and go to ESPN.com.
Yep.
Let me know when you're there.
I'm there.
Okay, at the top, there is a black banner with all the different sports,
Yep, sure.
including NCAA-M,
Yeah.
which is men's college basketball. Would you please go hover over that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Now I want you to scroll down 3 places to where it says schedule.
Yep. Got it.
Click on that.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to tell me, is it at Thursday, February 12th?
Yes, it is.
I want you to scroll down and you tell me the best game in college basketball tonight. I want you to tell me as you look at these, what is the best game in college basketball tonight?
Well, so far it's Valpo at Illinois State, but hang on, there could be better.
Mm-hmm.
There could be better.
Keep going. The best game. If you were programming for ESPN, what would you put in that?
I mean, the Golden Grizzlies at home tonight against Youngstown State. That's pretty big.
You're talking about
Oakland.
That's Oakland's playing, yeah.
UAD.
UAD is playing.
They're at Wright State. That's a big one.
Keep going. Find the best game in college basketball tonight. Please tell me what you think.
Wow. This is a whole lot of what? I mean, California Baptist is at Southern Utah.
Dude, there is not one
Memphis
major.
is at North Texas.
I mean, Memphis might be the best team.
Oregon State's at San Francisco.
There are no games tonight. I don't know if I've ever seen a schedule like this.
That's terrible.
I mean, no ACC games, no Big 12 games, no Big East games, no Big 10 games.
This is
SEC games.
If you like the crap conferences, tonight is your night. On full display, Northern Iowa takes on Belmont. Yep. I'm just going to scroll and randomly choose. Central Connecticut is at New Haven. Nobody walks into New Haven, Doug.
No, nobody walks into New Haven.
Although my favorite, from the state of Connecticut walking into the state of Connecticut might be something there.
Utah is known for its rivalries, although Utah Valley at Utah Tech is not one of them.
No.
Although it might be a rivalry, who knows?
Marist at Merrimack.
Nobody's playing tonight.
Winthrop at Gardner-Webb. Presbyterians taking on Charleston Southern. This is horrible.
Isn't it weird?
That's just
how is there no ACC, Big 12, Big 10, SEC, Big East? I mean, I don't even know there's like Conference USA games. Like there's now. Hey, look, take advantage of having the stage to yourself, Oakland University, and take care of business against Youngstown State.
Well, they got to share it with UD. I mean, UD's playing tonight too. Although UD's on the road, Oakland U's at home. At the arena.
It's unbelievable that all the major conferences have taken Thursday, February 12th off.
Well, they didn't want to compete with the luge relay, maybe. Is that coming up today?
Did you see? No, I think it was yesterday. Well, yesterday was the men's. Keg had a meme up on his computer today.
Yeah.
Why stop at 2? There were like 8 guys stacked on top of a luge.
You ever, like, Doug, you may know this answer. This is a serious question. Or you may not, but you love the Winter Olympics more than anyone in the show. How do they determine, okay, we're going to do a single, we're going to do a double, we're going to do a 4. Like, why? What's the arbitrary number of how many for each event, members, luge, bobsled, whatever it is?
I don't know.
Speed skating.
Yep.
I have no idea.
Yep. Curling.
I mean, now they've got like they are starting to tandem sports a lot. Like the other day there was I can't remember what it was called, but there was one person skis the downhill and the other person skis the slalom, and you get a time and you put your times together, and you're a team going for gold. There's a lot of combined sports in the Winter Olympics like that, and you really don't see that in the summer games, do you? You got the decathlon, but there's no, hey, you're going to run the sprints and I'm going to do the high jump, and we're going to be a team going against other people running sprints and high jump.
You just came up with $1 million idea for somebody.
Just keep combining things, right?
$1 million in a hole.
Today, actually, all kidding aside, today was my favorite, the beginning of my favorite events, and that's the snowcross events, the snowboard races to the bottom and the ski races to the bottom. And there was plenty of Michigan love, and I won't tell you what happened because it'll be shown all tonight. And if you really care, you either A, watch it, or B, can look it up and watch it. But Nick Baumgartner, who's 44 years old, snowboarder, from Iron River.
Because they're from the UP, right?
Yep. There's no one older in the event than 32. He is 44. He competed this morning. A former football standout. I don't know if he was a standout. He played football for Northern Michigan.
I saw, I think it was Jeff Seidel in the Free Press had an article about him over the weekend. Did you see it by chance?
I did not.
It's a great article, and Seidel knows him, like they're friends. So, and he had gone through some kind of training with them over the summer just to kind of get an idea of what's going on. So you mentioned he's 44 years old. Mm-hmm. In the article, they show a picture of Baumgartner with his brothers. And I think there's 4 brothers all told, 4 or 5 brothers, and they're all athletic. And there's a picture of them from like they're ranging from 18 to 24, and they're all standing shirtless as young guys, young strapping lads, and like ridiculously built. And then a picture that they took again years later where they're much older and they have salt and pepper beards, and they're still in ridiculous shape.
Baumgartners are taking care of themselves.
These guys are dialed in of what it's going to take. And it sounds like Baumgartner's personality sounds like he's awesome. Like and he's just kind of, loving life kind of guy.
And the other one started on Mount Brighton, just up the road, Jake Vetter from Pinckney Pirate. I think they're the Pirates. And his competition today as well. It'll probably be shown tonight, but I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody. But I think lots of Michigan love.
I think you would have been proud of me last night.
I'm proud of you every day.
Oh, thanks, Doug.
Yeah, but what in particular last night?
I spent probably 25 minutes watching the half pipe, the men's half pipe,
Oh, cool.
the qualifying part of it. And as I'm watching it, I was going to send you a text because I know you like to ski and
Yep.
you've talked about how you ski and you try to ski the half pipe. And your big thing is you want to be able to actually go into the half pipe, go up the wall.
My goal is to get the
turn around and come back down.
I'm trying to catch air out of the half pipe. I've gotten my ski tips out and I feel very proud. But just the tips.
Just the tips. So I'm watching this and I was going to send you a text going, come on, man. These guys are doing like 3 or 4 rotations
I need a coach.
and you can't get one.
I know. I need a coach. I want a coach desperately. And the thing is, it's not an Olympic half pipe like the Boyne or whatever they have at Nubs. I'll
It's like a 6-foot
drop
half
it.
pipe.
I'll drop into those half pipes, but not those Olympic. Those are man size.
And it's a man-sized hill they're going on too. Yeah. But I was loving watching it because it's a young man's sport. It's a teenager sport. And you're seeing all these guys get up there and they're diminutive in stature for the most part, but they're incredible of what they're able to do with their, this gymnastic ability, flipping around and all this stuff. But it looks like it's just, I don't know, it's so much fun. The fact that the Japanese have this great team, the South Koreans have this great team, the Americans obviously, and it's all over the world and they all look the same. They all look like these skate rats that you would see.
No, they're all bros.
They're all bros. They're doing the interviews, and they're all like 18 years old. Yeah, dude, it's really cool to be out here. Oh, it's a great vibe, man. The energy and
gnarly. Yeah, they're all high-fiving each other.
They're all there to support each other.
The podium.
Yeah.
Way to go, bro.
And they're cool with it. And you're watching Shaun White and the crowd watching the events, and they see somebody crash. He's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's just got a smile. It's like, oh, man, he really went for it,
Yep.
It's just
it's a different
cool
vibe.
Event. A totally different vibe.
97.1. Doug Carr, Scott Anderson, 97 won the ticket. Gator, did you hear the details that have come out on the Jonathan Kuminga departure from Golden State?
No. What do you got?
So things got uncomfortable there near the end, and there was a story on ESPN on Tuesday by Anthony Slater that cited a source that said that someone around Kuminga was taking too much food at the Golden State facility. Quote, the most tense flare-up in what team sources otherwise described as a relatively cordial Cold War between Jonathan Kuminga and Steve Kerr came on the afternoon of December 10th. Kuminga was prepared for the conversation. He knew management wanted to ding him for missing a team-requested event and alert him that someone around him was taking too much food from the family room. The gripes between player and organization, as multiple sources said, had become petty in the fifth year of a relationship many believe should have ended years before. So the Bleacher Report put up on Instagram something about the too much food, and I guess Kuminga put up eyes rolling emojis as a response to it. There has been the too much food thing. When there's free stuff offered, you don't go all in, do you? In a work situation?
You got to keep it in check, man. I mean, you got to make sure. I mean, you would expect that you can gauge based on how much food is there, how much you should take.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you know that, okay, hey, somebody dropped off food and it's for 50 people, and you look at it and you're like, well, that looks like it's only going to be for like 30 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe instead of taking 5 or 6 wings, you grab 2 or 3. That maybe you just act accordingly.
Read the room a little bit.
Exactly. Read the room.
I'll tell a story.
Okay.
Somewhat tangential to the station, but was at some events, and in a suite when you're hosting clients, and then somebody bursts in and throws the coats down on all the front row seats so that nobody else can take them, and massive plates of food, and we got some giveaways for clients and stuff.
Yeah.
Taking 2. Same person at another event where it was like a presentation being put on at one of those, like a hotel ballroom.
Okay, yeah.
And they got the sliding doors.
Yeah.
That can divide up the ballrooms.
Yeah.
And the door was ajar, so you could see into the next ballroom where food was going to be served.
Sure.
So there was a presentation going on. And then the doors were ajar, and you could see into the next ballroom. And when they started late,
like when the presentation's done, then they're going to dismiss
everybody
people.
goes,
Hey, go get some lunch. Sure.
And this same person that was in the suite and grabbing multiple gift bags and massive left the presentation
to start on the food,
to go next door and start in on the food before people were dismissed. To get the food. And no, it's not Dan Leach, Twitch. No, it's not. The people.
That's a whole different ball.
Somebody tangential station.
Yeah, this is not an on-air personnel. No. But I know who of you speak.
You don't want to do 10 texts or anything, do you?
No, I don't.
I'm kidding.
I also know of those instances and several more.
Yeah.
If you were being kind by eliminating it to 2. I've been for instance, was it last week? There was some sort of station-wide meeting, and there was food provided, and we're on the air. So we never get all these meetings that take place involving the entire station. We're usually on the air.
They always hold them at noon.
It's like, hey, and there'll be lunch served, and we're like, well, we're on the air. But typically, if it's lunch served and the thing ends at noon, usually let it die down, and then like 12:45 during a commercial break, I'll run out there, or you'll run out there, Kang. All of us will go out there and try to grab something. So this last time I was there, I could see everybody was eating right behind us, and I'm looking back and I'm like, okay, they've got a bunch of trays with sandwiches. Sounds great. By the time I got out there were 4 empty trays. Nothing. There was nothing. I think it was a bag, an individual bag of chips was like all that was there. And I went, okay, no skin off my back. It's all right, But But then I heard other people complaining in the station, like, yeah, I went there too, and there was nothing there. And yeah, I swear to God, if I see somebody with a couple of extra sandwiches there, I'm going to get pissed. I'm like, well, get ready to get pissed because there are multiple people that went out there and didn't read the room. And it happens. It happens when you see like the guest that comes into this suite, the guest of somebody who's,
Jonathan Kuminga
or whatever. Right. Exactly. And next thing you know, they're just stuffing their face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to get a hot dog, a slice of pizza. Oh, there's a sandwich too. I'm going to grab 10 wings, finish that plate, and then cut in line to go grab some more. I've already been in line, so I'm just going to go down here at the end. I know where the wings are. I don't need to worry about the front of the line. I'm just having the wings there at the end of the line. And just continue to fill your plate or grab a few beverages or cookies or whatever the case is. Yeah, it happens all the time.
It's crazy. And apparently it had contributed to Kuminga getting traded from Golden State to Atlanta.
Well, it's one thing if you're like Kuminga himself. Like, he could probably get whatever he wants, right?
Yeah, I mean,
it's when
he
you're
does have a pretty good salary, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's when you're the second cousin that shows up because you got the invite. And you're like, you're almost representing Jonathan Kuminga himself. You can't go over the top. I don't know what he took, or even if this story's true, but if he did, where it was noticeable, where sources were saying, hey, dude, the guy with Kuminga, he just took all the food, right? Like he just took like.
Or you'll see, like sometimes at games there'll be giveaways for the crowd or whatever, and if you're a member of the media, you're in a press box or whatever, they might hand them out to you as well. I've seen people in that situation walk out of there with 6 bobbleheads.
Really?
And like, what do you do? Oh, I had to get one for my nephew and my niece, and then I've got something for my brother, and I got to get something here. I'm like,
freebies. People, it's
do
really
you
weird.
want yours? I'm like, yeah, because you know what? I have a nephew and a niece and a brother and
Yeah.
Everybody's got the same thing, but you're important. You go ahead. You go
The
ahead.
Kuminga story cracks me up though, because this is a freaking NBA player who I guess got in trouble with his organization over this.
Well, we got a text that says, "How did you feel, Gator, when you ate all those kids' breakfast at the hotel that morning?"
First of all, yeah. I came in at the end.
There's no more bacon. That guy ate it all.
Nobody said that. I came at the end.
We might have to reset the
plenty of
details
food
for
there.
people who don't know that story.
I
because
didn't know that was the wrong breakfast buffet to go to.
it was hysterical. We will get to the details of that. And your phone calls, people have stories. Jonathan Kuminga, did he get traded because someone in his group
awesome
was consistently eating too much food in the family room for the Golden State Warriors? Also, we got some line stuff to get to next hour. The Birch Kid from Lakeland at 1 o'clock. Here on Carson Anderson, 248-539-9797. Here on 97.1.
Brought to you by Michigan Lottery. Justin Verlander spoke at length with the media today after reporting to spring training for the first day of camp yesterday. He talked about being back in Detroit, pitching with Tarik Skubal, wanting to win a World Series as a Tiger, and much more. Verlander also discussed being a productive pitcher even in his advanced age. He said he always wanted to pitch until he's 45 years old. The Tigers legend turns 43 next Friday. Here's what he had to say about the topic. Thank you. Yeah.
That was a pretty naive thing to say back then, looking back and seeing what I've gone through and how hard it is to get here. But again, that kind of stubborn mentality also helps to achieve that goal. Verlander was supported by the rest of the Tigers' presumed starting rotation as Framber Valdez, Jack Flaherty, Casey Mize, and Tarik Skubal were all in attendance at today's presser. Position players get to Lakeland this Sunday. Team USA men's hockey begins their chase for their first gold medal since the Miracle on Ice in 1980 today. The Americans are bolstered by a flurry of Michigan natives on this year's squad, of course, in Red Wings captain Dylan Larkin, the Hughes brothers Jack and Quinn, along with current Winnipeg Jets goaltender Connor Hellebuck, who's from Commerce. USA head coach Mike Sullivan announced today that Hellebuck will start in goal when the Americans take on Latvia for their first group stage game. Puck drops in that one over in Italy at 3:10 p.m. local time today. From the Corewell Health Sports Desk, I'm Brendan Shabath. For more, visit 971 The Ticket or Odyssey.com.
Hey, Two Cuts, are you all right? Do you hear how he said Skubal? What was up with the Skubal thing?
I don't know.
Well, it was a typo. I'm like Ron Burgundy. If I write it down, I'm going to say it, and I just Skubal. Well, so I was about to say Verlander was supported by, and I wrote Skubal, and as soon as I said it, I knew it was wrong, so it came out like that. Yeah,
Skubal. It was like I punched you in the stomach or something. Ready to read it.
I'm telling you, if you put it down in front of 100%. me, I'm going to read it.
That's not a joke. Like, that's for real. There are times here, lifting the curtain, there are times here where we get a change in live read copy that we won't know that the copy changed, so we'll be reading it on the air for the first time. And if the sales rep makes a typo, and some of you out there make more typos than others, we'll read it and say it on the air.
The difference is, Doug, is that's presented to us sometimes sight unseen. Two Cuts actually gets to write his own stuff.
He wrote his own stuff.
This is true. Today has
you can't say you surprised yourself.
No, absolutely. I take full account of it. Today's been a heck of a day. There's been a lot going on. And I'm really bogged down today. But
well, at least you didn't say go blank yourself, Lakeland, or anything like that.
Yeah, that would have been a pretty bad typo, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Update Kid. 248-539-9797. We're talking about, look, this Jonathan Kuminga story is hysterical because he certainly didn't get traded because somebody in his entourage took too much food in the family room during games, but it did apparently come up as a topic. And I think we've all kind of had those situations where somebody's like gets a little carried away when stuff is free. And we'll get to the details of Gator's hysterical story.
Come on.
First, let's go to Garrett in a van. Hi, Garrett.
Hey, how's it going there, gentlemen? Y'all all right today?
We're good, yeah.
Well, mine is I bartend for private parties where food and alcohol are free, and people get, I wouldn't want to say a little tipsy, but a little tipsy.
All right.
Keep coming back to the bar, and I have a little tip jar, and I'm a little heavy-handed, so normally drinks are $20-$25 at a bar. You're dropping $1 in the cup. You're coming back like 5 times. And after a while, it's like, okay, I'm cutting you off. And one time I asked a couple that came back to the bar like 4 times. And it's like, I'm sorry, when you two were dating, was she drinking like this? Because you dropped almost $200. You drank almost $200 in liquor so far. You know, and is this what y'all do every time y'all go out? You know, and that's, you know, after a while it just gets to be too much.
Sure.
You know, the food you can take, but the alcohol, like, you have to drive home. You know that, right?
The weird thing is, I do, you know, every once in a while we'll be at a promotional event. There'll be free giveaways, and things can get uncomfortable. When stuff is free, sometimes people lose their mind.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so Gator, you were staying a couple days in a hotel?
Yes, because I had no power in the house. It was wintertime a few years ago, and a tree fell in my backyard and knocked out the power lines, among other things. So I had to stay in a hotel. And when I signed up for the hotel and I booked it online, I booked it for the free breakfast every morning. I'm like, yeah, sounds great. I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I went down for breakfast first day, and I see the buffet.
Hell of a breakfast.
It was your typical buffet. You know, you got your scrambled eggs, you've got sausages and bacon, and then pancakes or waffles, whatever. There's some fruit and yogurt and whatnot. Just all the stuff is there. Cereal.
Was there a waffle station?
There was no. It wasn't that elaborate.
Okay.
Well, at least this one wasn't that elaborate. So I saw this buffet and I'm like, oh, here we go. Grabbed my plate, filled it up, and walked into one of the ballrooms they had there and sat down. And there weren't that many people in there, but it looked like things were winding down. A lot of families there. And I got a couple looks, but not many. No big deal. And went down the next day, did the same thing, got a plate of food, sat down, and at this point, there was hardly anybody there. And so I'm like, okay, good, because I don't really want to talk to anybody, just sit down and just eat my breakfast. And this woman comes up to me who worked at the hotel and said, "Are you here for the event?" I'm like, "Which event is that?" She goes, "You know, the girls 12 and under hockey tournament." And I said, "Well, no, I'm not." And she goes, "Oh, well, the breakfast was for that." I'm like, "I'm terribly sorry." I said, "I'm staying here at the hotel, I signed up for the breakfast." She goes, "It's okay." And she goes, "That's on the other side." I'm like, "I'm terribly." She goes, "It's not, no problem, not at all." But she goes, "Just so you know, that's the other side of the hotel." I'm like, I feel stupid, and I should have felt stupid. And to make it worse, the free breakfast for the hotels for that part was infinitely better than the buffet.
Was it?
Yeah, so I really missed out.
Yeah, it was a bunch of cereal for the one I was at. You know, like
it's like
juice boxes.
These pancakes been sitting out for a while. The eggs been sitting out for a while. Meanwhile, if I'd gone the other side, because the last day that I was there was a day we were doing the show here, and I grabbed breakfast and I had it to go, and I had these pancakes and sausage. And the pancakes were fantastic. I'm like, whoa!
Well, it was like for adults.
Right? Yeah.
The one you were at were for kids.
It wasn't for 12 and under girls and their families.
The best part of this is the image of these girls, soccer players and their families hockey players and their families sitting in this room, all eating. And Gator walks in by himself.
So when you met Chris Hansen, was he nice or is he?
Oh, come on. I felt pretty small.
Oh, dude, you were
I'm sure you did. It's a mistake. Anybody can make it, maybe not, but maybe.
And not 2 days in a row. But.
It's hysterical. Here we go. I buy lunch for the employees on occasion, and I have folks that will make a plate and go hide it in their locker and then come back for more. And the point is they make it look like it's for, and the point they make looks like, the plate they make is what I think he meant to say. And the plate they make look like it's for 3 people. It's insane what some people will do. It's from Jason in Commerce.
Free stuff, man.
Yep.
People love free stuff.
Go to any sporting event. There's always that one person who has 4 or 5 bobbleheads. Next text from Scott. The only exception is the taco bar. Am I right, Gator?
Was there a taco bar?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had a taco bar here in a while.
There's a whole bunch of texts about Gator and that travel soccer team, travel hockey team. For real men, they probably threw away 3 times as much as the person took. Shaking my head, KB in Detroit. We have a kid at Costco that always takes 5 steaks when we do monthly cookouts. He also takes some home. Funny thing is, he's a rich kid. Parents are lawyers. So I'm assuming you work at Costco and you're having like a cookout and this kid takes...
Do people do that too at Costco if it's like with the free
with the
samples
freebies?
And you just walk up there and you just stand in front of everybody and just grab like 3 or 4 toothpicks full of whatever it is that... the kielbasa or whatever.
No, and the reason is because it's very rare that Costco is sampling anything that I would like. So
that's not true.
It's not I'm in my trips to Costco.
In your trips to Costco?
I have not. I don't know that I've ever had any free food. I've looked, but I was like, nope. But that's on me. Nobody
healthy
else.
Popcorn, over
Little-
there, the
little-
nuts,
A little
granola.
paper cup of the healthy popcorn.
all that
Yeah,
stuff over there.
I haven't been privy to that. Anyway, there it is. Hey, Drew Petzing, the new offensive coordinator, has spoken. I want to get your take on what he had to say to Lions season ticket holders. We'll play that for you today at 12:18 here on Carson Anderson on 97.1.
Turn up the heat this winter with DraftKings Casino. You get cozy while you play more than 1,000 slots and everything from classics like Cash Eruption to exclusives like Fire Buffalo. New players can wager $5 and get 500 spins over 10 days on your choice of Cash Eruption slots. Download the DraftKings Casino app and sign up with code WXYTFM. Then choose from 10 different Cash Eruption slots daily and start spinning. The crown is yours in partnership with DraftKings Casino. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus, physically present in Michigan. Eligibility restrictions apply. Non-withdrawable casino spins issued as 50 spins per day for 10 days. Valid for featured games only and expire each day after 24 hours. See terms at casino.draftkings.com/promos. Ends March 15th, 2026 at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time.
Doug Harsh, Scott Anderson, 97.1. Let's go to Bruce in Clinton Township. Hi, Bruce.
Hello. Hey, I got one for you.
Yeah.
This was a couple years ago. The wife and I were down in Florida for a couple of weeks in the wintertime, and we had the idea, hey, let's take a sunset cruise. So, okay, well, where is it? So, okay, we drive to where the boat was, right? And, all right, we'll be back here at whatever time. Okay. So we get there at whatever time, and we were dressed nice, you know, but all these people start showing up, and I was like, oh, they're a little bit more formal than we are, you know. Okay, maybe it's a wedding group or whatever. So, okay, we get on, no problem. And it turns out it had a nice buffet, big catamaran, right, going for the sunset cruise. It turns out it was a promotional award night for Wyndham timeshare sellers. So they're giving out awards left and right. And so here's Susie Jones. She sold $250,000. Here's Mike Lewis. Here's blah, blah, blah. And my wife said, don't you eat any of that buffet. Okay, it was really good, right? So I played it that I was from headquarters here to check on this office down there in Panama City Beach, right?
Okay, all right.
So we finally met somebody they were sitting next to us, and it was obvious we weren't eating. Turns out they were from Michigan. He moved down there, and he was a salesman. Anyway, they didn't blow our cover. So when we got back, and we're, going off, and the head of that branch is shaking everybody's hand. Thanks for your work. Thanks. And when I got to him, I said, hey, you're doing a great job. Just keep it up, And
you
walked off.
And you got out of there.
Couldn't make it. They had a specific number. 2 people couldn't make it, so they thought we were the 2.
Oh, well, that worked for you.
That did.
Way to wrap it up, Bruce.
Nice job, Bruce. Got that done before the shark came
Before
out.
the shark got him. The story's getting long. So, but he crashed an award ceremony.
So he did it on purpose.
No, they didn't. They thought they were doing a sunset cruise, and they ended up on some awards thing.
Yeah, but once they figured it out,
they were in a boat. Can't just walk off.
You can choose not to eat, I guess.
Well, that's what he said they did.
Well, I said catamaran, right?
Yeah.
Catamaran. That's a small sailing vessel, isn't it?
I think they have bigger ones, yeah.
Big enough where you're going to have a buffet on them?
I don't know.
On a catamaran?
I'm sure. Well, maybe he used the wrong term.
Okay.
Wasn't the point. Here we go. Drew Petzing, the new offensive coordinator. They put together a getting to know you video and sent it out to Lions season ticket holders. So what do you think of when you think of a getting to know you video?
A getting to know you video.
Yeah, like they're introducing. Here's our new offensive coordinator.
I mean, it's a nice touch, I guess. Fans want the extra little mile always.
I think it's cool what they do for season ticket holders. So here is the opening statement, if you will, to Lions fans from new offensive coordinator Drew Petzing. Okay. He's ramped up and ready to go.
Okay.
A little intense.
Sure.
All right, here he tells a little bit about himself.
It's a Doug Harsh kind of guy right there.
It kind of is. Talking
Although
like
he
a
said
coach.
He likes good food. So
he's kind of intense, though, isn't he?
he's getting there.
I like to golf when the weather permits.
When the weather permits, yeah.
More here from Drew Petzing. didn't realize the third person was John Madden.
Because of the video game.
Our offensive coordinator started playing Madden. That was the beginning.
Well, he's not. How old is he? He's not that old. Is he in
I don't
his
know.
30s?
He said he played the game growing up.
Well, I'm saying, I think he's like in his 30s. He's way younger than we are.
Yeah, but of course.
Sorry, maybe not way younger.
Yeah, you could still eat at 12-year-old's buffet.
Oh, just stop.
He's 38.
He's 38.
He does bring an intensity to the table, though.
He's a coach,
Yep.
and it doesn't surprise me that he's got that coach mentality because you got to love the game, you got to love what you do, and if you're a coach, you got to love teaching. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like he wants to do. And he talked about he'd rather Bill Belichick than Tom Brady because he's going to learn more from Bill Belichick.
Yep, makes sense.
Suck it, Tom.
To go back to your Madden comment, I read something very interesting. It was either last week or the week before. It doesn't matter. Basically, what they were saying is if you watched all the younger coaches in the league right now, they're kind of good at playing the 2-minute drill and whatnot. And a lot of people, after asking them questions, a lot of these guys played Madden in the past. So they're saying, is this next wave of coaching
all influenced?
Yeah, kind of built off Madden in a way.
Okay, why are you pumping your fist?
Because this is like watching one of my buddies get a job. It's awesome. And Corbin, you're right. Now it makes sense. I always felt I was a little better at clock management than regular NFL coaches, and I know now I know it's because of Madden. I always looked when you don't want to call timeout, you just hit select or whatever. How much time is left. Now it makes sense.
Listen, guys of like the generation that Doug and I are in. What did we have? We had Tecmo Bowl.
Pong?
I had 4 plays. We just got into right. That's all you had from Tecmo Bowl. Or if you graduated to the early years of the first incarnations of Madden, you didn't have much to work with then either. But you did have maybe triple the amount of plays to work with at that point. But yeah. Can you imagine? I mean, now, of course, you're going to see people like that. I've been playing Madden my whole life.
A quick Google search. There is no evidence that Los Angeles Rams head coach Sean McVay plays the Madden NFL video game. But did he? Did he is the question. Dude, that's crazy.
He probably didn't. Loser.
Right. Of course.
No, he was busy watching American Idol and figuring out what his next hairstyle was going to be.
As I always say, every guy thinks they can drive, grill, and call plays. The call plays thing probably goes back to many a Madden player out there. With that said, the ESPN put together a list of tiers of the non-playoff teams. And the top tier of the teams that didn't make the playoffs was called No Need to Panic. And in that tier was Kansas City, Baltimore, and Detroit. And in there, when they talked about why there could be a quick turnaround, it was written, the hiring of offensive coordinator Drew Petzing isn't splashy, but will prove vital. Now, let's be clear. Very few people had heard of this guy. Very few people. I mean, you could argue and you could take a large sample of people in Detroit, Lions fans, and say, 6 months ago, do you know who Drew Petzing is? And they'd say no. Probably 100% of them. And in the Dan Campbell era, there's been Ben Johnson as a hire, but there's been Anthony Lynn and Johnny Morton as a hire. A lot is riding on this guy and what he's bringing to the table. How are you feeling about it right now?
I'm still, it's going to be a have to prove it thing with me. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel bad about it. If I had to, pick one side of it, I'm skeptical because I always am. With particularly somebody that I don't know anything about.
Right.
But I'm not going to be stubborn about it. I'm going to be stubborn about a lot of things. This is not one of the things I'll be stubborn about. I'm more skeptical now. And if it proves to be otherwise, great. I'm skeptical because the accolades he's gotten has been from working with Arizona, and I just don't look at it as the Cardinals as being some really good offensive team. Yes, there are some statistics during his time that point to they were better than I maybe want to give him credit for, but it's just a different situation. You had a dynamic quarterback to work with there in that obviously Kyler Murray is somebody who's fleet of foot, and they would design some plays for that. And that's just a complete 180 from what Jared Goff is. So that's another part of my skepticism. I'm not sure how it's going to work here with a totally different type of quarterback, but I'm going to give him time. and show that he knows what he's doing. But I mean, it's not the. I know that the biggest issue with this is going to be about personnel. It's not about coaching.
It seems that way. It seems like if they get the center fixed and they got Decker clarity and make a good move there if necessary, that it's not going to be about coaching. But we shall see. In the meantime, Dan Campbell, in the video that was sent out to season ticket holders, had this to say about Petzing. The term crossover tape is telling here. So if the Lions were playing,
the Rams,
say the Rams, and he was looking at film of the Rams defense, and when the Rams were playing against the Cardinals, he liked what the Cardinals were doing. That's a real interesting thing that you don't think about, how coaches become aware of what other coaches are good and what they're doing.
Well, when you're looking to hire a coach, those are the types of things that you're going to look at.
Yeah. Interesting, huh?
Yeah, it's interesting, and I don't mean to put a wet blanket on things, but he's in Dan Campbell and hiring a staff. The first guy he hired to be offensive coordinator didn't work out.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah.
And obviously they pivoted from the one they had last year in John Morton. So I'm not saying it's a horrible hire by any means. It's just, okay, we'll wait and see what it looks like.
We don't know anything what it's going to be until they get because we don't even know the personnel.
Yeah, I don't even know if Taylor Decker's going to be on this team next year.
And that's a big storyline, and there could be surprises along the way as well. But that's the introduction of our new intense snowboarding, golf when the weather permits, offensive coordinator who started playing Madden back in the day, apparently. What was sent out to season ticket holders. Birchie Kid talks some Tigers at 1 o'clock. It's Carson Anderson, 97.1. One of our listeners said, I really like the intense music in the Petzing videos. You guys got to ISO that music bed and describe yourselves. I like to eat my sandwiches with mustard only. I like rolling up garden hoses. I like whole wheat toast. I call plays in Latin. Oh, it was great. Absolutely hysterical.
I like to walk barefoot over pebbles and Lego.
Yes, I'm that tough. That tough. I was reading some stuff, by the way, speaking of Lions, and Linderbaum is like going to be one of
the center for Baltimore.
Yeah, that is potentially a free agent. That he is there. There's a chance he's going to be the most coveted free agent center of all time.
Yes. There are many teams that need a center, and he's the top of the group, and he's going to set them. It's crazy. He's going to set the market for centers, which has to happen at some point, right? And it's interior alignment, right? Because I don't think they differentiate between centers and guard. Do they not differentiate throughout the whole offensive line?
IOL,